Once your twins are born, they're going to be going to the doctor very often. These are called well child or well baby checkups, and there's a specific schedule that your twins will be on to visit the doctor on a regular basis. Let's talk about what that schedule is, what you can expect at these doctor's visits, and some of the unique challenges that you will face as you take twins, not just a single baby, to the doctor's office over and over again. Your twins' pediatrician is likely following a schedule of well baby checkups that has been recommended by the American Academy of Pediatrics. These regular checkups with your doctor start soon after birth when they're newborns. In fact, the pediatrician will likely visit with your twins almost immediately after birth and every day until you leave the hospital. It is then recommended that your twins go to the pediatrician within 48 to 72 hours after being discharged from the hospital. And that's just the beginning of the visits. In the first year of your twins' life, you will likely visit the doctor in that first week, before 1 month, at 2 months, 4 months, 6 months, 9 months, and at the 12-month mark. Of course, this schedule assumes that your twins don't have any complications or other need to visit the doctor more frequently. Once you start attending these well baby checkups with your twins, you're going to learn very quickly what works and what doesn't work with your twins. Let's talk about some of those challenges right now. First is what to expect with a well baby checkup for your children. There's a certain list of standard procedures that happen every time you take your children to the doctor. Again, the American Academy of Pediatrics outlines what those should be, and your doctor is likely following those particular recommendations with each visit. It's very typical for each visit to include some of the following: measurements. Your babies are always going to be weighed and they're going to be measured for length, height, circumference of their head. They're also going to get their blood pressure taken to make sure that they're doing okay. Your babies may have blood work done to do some analysis on their health and status. Your babies are going to have a health history taken. How have they been at home? What's the daily schedule and routine like? How are they doing with their diapers, with their eating, with their sleeping, with their communication, with their movements? These are all types of questions that your doctor is going to be asking about how your twins are at home. In addition, your doctor is going to do a complete head-to-toe physical examination of your babies to make sure everything's in working order and that they're growing and developing smoothly. Your doctor may also check for development as far as vision and hearing goes to make sure that those are on track and on par with what expectations should be for your children at that particular age. And let's not forget vaccinations. Your children, when they're very young, have a very rigorous schedule of recommended vaccinations. So almost every time you go in to see the doctor, they're going to get poked with some form of vaccination. Some of these are once and done vaccinations, other ones need to be repeated over a series of visits. When it comes time to schedule your well baby checkups for your twins, you need to remember a few things that are unique to your needs as a twin parent. Make sure that first you communicate with the scheduling staff at the doctor's office that you have twins and that you want to see the doctor at the same time. You don't want to have to go in Monday morning at 9 a.m. and then go back on Thursday afternoon at 2 o'clock p.m. to see the other twin. You want them at the same time. Many doctor's offices will accommodate this by either scheduling you back to back, where you have one baby scheduled right after the other, or they'll schedule you simultaneously. Either way, your goal is to be able to sit in the exam room with your babies and not have to leave between appointments. A key to success at a well baby checkup for your twins is to be prepared ahead of time. Remember that every time you go to the doctor, you're going to have to answer some of the same questions over and over again. So it's important that you are paying attention and recording what is happening with your twins at home, particularly when they're very young newborns. You want to keep a record of their diaper changes, their bowel movements, their pees, how much they're eating, how frequently they're eating, as well as their sleep schedule and routines. This is all information that your doctor will need to help evaluate the health of your babies. You should also ask your doctor's office if they have particular paperwork that you have to fill out every single time. Maybe it's something that you can download from their website, print it out, and fill it out ahead of time so that you don't have to be filling out paperwork while wrestling your babies in the waiting room of the doctor's office. Make a list of some of your concerns or questions that you have for the doctor ahead of time. Write that down and take that list with you, because even with the best intentions, when you get into the doctor's office and you're wrangling both babies, you are going to get distracted and forget some of those questions unless you make notes of them ahead of time. Remember that you shouldn't wait too long to ask your questions to the doctor. So don't save up all of your questions for a month if you have serious and immediate concerns about your twins. Make sure that you call the doctor's office or talk to the nurse to get those answers that you need. So now that you're ready for your well baby checkup for your twins, how do you survive once you actually get to the office? Well, the secret is that you need to have two helpers. You and your spouse ideally would go together to the well child checkup for your twins. However, that may not always be possible, but you should try to recruit someone else to go with you. Maybe it's grandma or grandpa, maybe it's a friend or neighbor, maybe it's an older sibling if they're able to do that and they're old enough and mature enough to help with the babies. For one of our twins' well baby checkups, I was late getting out of the office, getting away from work to get to the doctor's office. By the time I showed up at the doctor's office and found my way to the exam room, my wife was sitting in the exam room alone with the babies. She had already had to strip down the girls to their diapers and was holding both of them on her lap. One look at my wife's face indicated that it had not been an easy task to get the girls to that point of readiness at the doctor's office. Your spouse will likely struggle by his or herself if you send them off alone to the doctor's office with the twins. So do everything you can to go with them or make sure someone else goes with them to make those visits as easy and go as smoothly as possible. If you think that the nurse or the medical assistant or the doctor is going to help you with your twins, I'm sorry, but you're sadly mistaken. Their responsibility is to help as many patients as possible. So they're going to come into the exam room, do their checkup, issue the shot, measure the blood pressure, whatever it is that they're going to do, and then they're going to leave the room. And so you're going to spend a lot of time by yourself in the exam room while you wait for the next step of the evaluation, while you wait for the doctor, or while you wait for the vaccinations. And it's during that time that you're wrestling babies, trying to keep them contained, trying to keep them happy, trying to keep them warm. And it really, really helps when you have two people there to help with the two babies. There are some great advantages of making sure that there's two helpers when you go to a well baby checkup with your twins. There'll be two people there to help the babies after they get their vaccinations, because they're going to be crying, they're going to be sad, they're going to be hurt. You'll more easily be able to soothe and comfort them if there's two of you to help the two babies. Getting ready for and finishing up the doctor's appointment will go a lot more quickly if there's two of you to help the babies get undressed in the beginning and dressed after the doctor is done. Keeping babies warm in the doctor's office is always a challenge. It seems like the doctor's office is always freezing cold, even in the middle of the summer. If there's a baby with dad and a baby with mom, it makes it easy to keep them warm and happy during and between the examinations. So remember, don't go alone to a well baby checkup for your twins. Make sure you take somebody with you to help you, and it'll make things go a lot easier. And there is a bonus if you go with your spouse. When you go together, one of you is going to think of some questions or things to talk to the doctor about that the other spouse has forgotten. Or maybe you observe something at home with your twins and maybe your spouse did not see that. So when you go together, you're more likely to get answers to all of your questions and get a more holistic view of your twins' health and their updates. So if you have newborn twins or right in the fray of those first couple months or the first year of twins, I recommend you pick up a copy of my book, Dad's Guide to Raising Twins, How to Thrive as a Father of Twins. It helps you through all those challenges you're facing with newborn, infants, toddlers, and beyond. You can learn more about that book at raisingtwinsbook.com. Hey, and while you're here, why don't you check out some of these other videos to help you overcome the challenges of raising your twins. As always, if you found this video helpful, go ahead and give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more tips and tricks about parenting twins coming right at you.